Well, this is going to be the training for the projection at Salem Covenant Church. So thank you for volunteering. I'm just going to walk through the general procedure for setting things up, running things during sermon or Sunday service, and how you close everything down afterwards. So we are going to start with just turning things on. So once you get up here in the balcony, first you'll probably want to turn on the computer monitor if it's not already on. So there's just a button right under the bottom of the monitor. There's a little on and off symbol there.
And there's a few buttons. That's the one all the way on the right.
Yes, thank you. Once that comes on, it'll probably ask you for a password. The username will be projection tech. And then there is no password, so you can just press enter, and that will start things loading up. While that is doing that, you can turn on the projector itself. There is a button, there's a remote here. It's plugged in directly to the projector. There's an on button. You can just press that once, and that will turn on the projector. You'll hear it beep. And you'll also need to turn on the stage screen, which is the one that the people on the stage see. So let's go ahead and turn that on real quick right now. All right, to turn on the stage screen, we have a remote right here. It's usually sitting directly below the TV. There's a big red power button. You're gonna have to hold it kind of high at the bottom left corner of the screen. And then that little red light will turn blue, and that means it's on. It'll say, please wait. And if nothing shows up, especially after you turn on ProPresenter, you might have to restart the computer. In fact, you often have to restart the computer after you turn the screen on in order to get anything to show on it. So just a heads up there. All right, so now that I think everything else is on, the important part is that ProPresenter is opened last. After the sound system is on, after the projector is on, after the TV is on, ProPresenter you always want to open last. And most issues can actually be resolved by just restarting ProPresenter, because if like the soundboard gets restarted or something, then ProPresenter will need to be closed and reopened. So ProPresenter last. So once we turn on the computer, you might get a couple messages like Spotify might need your permission to install an update. We can ignore that for now. And Spotify will come up. You can ignore that. You'll also see a window called BOEM Network. That's just the program that we use to get the MIDI signals from the stage to this computer to advance the worship slides. You don't need to do anything about that. Just leave it running in the background. So to open ProPresenter, we'll go to this icon down here. It's an orange icon with looks like two screens intersecting each other, and it will say ProPresenter when your mouse is over it. So we'll click that. And ProPresenter will just take a couple seconds to open. There we go. And I like to maximize the window just so I can see everything.
Oh, but if you maximize the window, how do you move back and forth between windows?
Good question, Nick. Yeah. I don't.
You don't?
No.
Okay. But if in case you need to like jump back to Spotify or whatever, if you press Control left or right, that's how you move back and forth between the desktops.
All right. So now that we know how to do that.
Yeah.
Now that I know how to do it. All right. Let's talk about just the layout of the ProPresenter window first. So first, in this upper left, we have what are called the libraries, and these are just collections of related presentations. So we see we have one for SKC, and then we just have everything else in default. Sometimes you might see another library if we do, like if camp comes and does their own set, I might make a library, camp library. And then playlists below that, those are sequences of presentations that are stored in the libraries. So any changes you make in a playlist affect the file in the library. Down below that, down here, we have the actual playlist itself once we have a playlist selected. So that we are now selecting the Sunday service playlist. And so down here are the actual playlist items. We have headings like opening, worship set, sermon, closing. Those are only for organizational purposes. They don't actually have anything in them. But then once we go into the actual presentations, we have a number of them, like songs or sermon slides. What else do we have? Announcements and just other miscellaneous service slides. Those will all be in those, and that should be in a particular order. And once you click on one of these presentations, you'll see the slides show up in what's called the slide pane or the slide window. So the slide window will show the slides in whatever you have selected in either the playlist or in a library. So you can click through all the different files in the library if you need to, but mostly you'll just be working with the playlist. There are a couple different settings or views that you can use for these slides. Down in the bottom right corner, you have what we consider the default view, which is the grid view. There's also the text view, where makes it easier to see the text on the slide if you're having trouble seeing the thumbnails. And then there's also the table view, and that just kind of shows both. It shows both the slide and the words next to it. Use whichever one is easiest for you to see. Like I said, we tend to just use the grid view. There's also, next to those settings, there is a slider that allows you to adjust the size of the icons. So if you're in grid view, but you still can't see the words and they're really tiny, you can bump that up to make them bigger. Each person on this computer can adjust that to their own liking on the morning. On the left side of the slide pane are a few different controls for the slide transitions and media transitions. Just leave that as it is for consistency. We don't want to mess with that from Sunday to Sunday. That should all stay consistent. So just leave it as it is and don't worry about that. The next important part is going to be the upper right part of the screen. This is called the preview window. This is where a lot of your attention is going to be during a service. So this upper right part of the screen, that will be your preview window, and that will show what each of the 4 different outputs are showing at the moment. So, for example, if we go to the beginning of the service, we see that there is a projector section that shows what the projector is showing. There is a stream section that shows what the live stream sees. There's a stage section that shows what is on the stage screen, what the people on the stage can see. And then there's another one that shows what the TV out in the coffee area sees and what the nursing mom's room sees. So you should always be paying attention to those during the service to see that they're showing what they're supposed to. And this can be resized as needed. Sometimes when you open ProPresenter, it will be really small. You can make it bigger just so you have a good view of what is in those windows. If you need to, this little drop down on the bottom left part of the preview screen will allow you to see individual outputs like the projector, the coffee area, what's going to the switcher. But generally, you'll just want to leave it on multi-view so you can see all of them at the same time. Mm-hmm. On either side of the preview screen, there are these 2 little audio meters. And so, for example, if I start playing a video here, you'll see that we start getting some sound on either side. So the left audio meter shows the sound that is going to the sound system to be played in-house. The right audio meters show what is going to the live stream. So for most videos, you want to see both of those flickering. For certain videos, for example, on the closing video at the end of a service, that only goes to the live stream. So you'll only see the right side audio going, and the left side will have nothing, at least until you start playing music or something. And then there are also these clear buttons, which I just pressed. There are a number of layers in ProPresenter. There's an audio layer, messages layer, props layer, announcements layer, slide layer, media layer, and a video input layer. And those are ProPresenter in the background is showing all of those at once. Those allow you to clear individual layers. So for example, if we have song going and hey, we just want to clear the lyrics on the screen, but we want to keep the background for some reason, you can hit clear slide and that'll just take the lyrics off.
And super quick, this is important sometimes when Christu takes a moment to pray, or at the beginning of a song, he's like, hey, let's pause here for a moment. If that ever happens, you as the ProPresenter person are also in charge of what the live stream sees. And so if there's ever a moment during worship or somehow there's text on the screen when someone's just talking, sometimes maybe accidentally during communion, the doxology will appear on the screen. Go ahead and clear the slide, that slide layer, so that people in the live stream can then clearly see the person talking.
For the most part, you'll be using these two clear groups. We have one that clears, let me put some lyrics back up here. We have one that clears everything but the video. That's probably what you'll use most of the time. I just called it keep video. So that'll clear everything, but it'll keep the live stream video up. This other one will just clear everything. That's kind of the panic button. You just want to get everything off the screen. That'll turn it black. You probably won't use that too much during a service, but it is there in case you need it. Below the preview screen, we have a media player, and you can select if we have, like, say, a background video going, that will show the progress that that background video has. And if you need to, for some reason, skip forward 15 seconds, you can. If you need to pause it, you can do that. Also, if there is some kind of audio playing, like, for example, during the prelude, we'll often have, there we go. We'll often have a song playing. Now, if you have both a video and a song playing, you can switch between them with these three buttons here. So this shows the current video that's playing. This is any announcements that are playing. And then this is the audio track that is playing. So you can pause the audio track if you need to, restart it. If there are announcements going, then in theory, this will show, but there aren't any videos in the announcements. So,
yep, it is advancing down below though at that little red.
Yes, and then there will be this red advance bar will show you how long it'll be until the next slide comes up. So there's the next one.
You know what? I didn't know about those little buttons.
I figured that out while I was writing the script.
Yes. We learned something new.
Yep. Below the media player, we have, let me just clear everything for now. We have a series of tabs for different functions within ProPresenter. The first one is the audio bin. That will have mostly our prelude music. So you generally won't have to do anything manually with this bin, but this is what the prelude announcements references when we start running prelude music on our live stream or something like that.
And if you're ever in service, you never hear that because it's only for the live stream.
Yes. Or sometimes if someone's singing along to a backtrack at a funeral or something, that will often be in here. So you can click on a playlist and then just click on the song to start it playing. Next to the audio bin is the stage bin. That just shows a couple of the different stage layouts. This is generally automated on Sundays, so you shouldn't have to worry about this. Next to the stage bin is the timers. Again, this is mostly automated. You shouldn't have to go in here and do anything manually. Next to that is the messages. Currently, we only use that for our service will begin in so many minutes for the screen and the live stream. So again, shouldn't have to do anything manually with that on Sundays. The next one is the props. This is where I recommend just leaving this tab open because we might use this on Sundays. For example, if we're coming up to the sermon time and let's say Christu is speaking that Sunday, and once he comes up on stage, we can click his nameplate and that will bring his name up on the live stream, and then we click it again to take it off. And we have a few nameplates in here. There's one for Christu, one for Nick, one for me. We can probably add some more, but it's just a nice little flourish for the live stream, just so people online know who's talking, especially if they're watching for the first time. The last tab is for macros. This is mostly for my use.
Don't touch these.
You,
Brandon will.
Yep, you really shouldn't have to do anything with these. It's just kind of, yeah, they could be triggered manually or assigned to a slide. And so, for example, you'll see any strange little icon on the slides. So on the kids message, like I have a lighting macro here, or any videos will have a little video macro. It just changes a bunch of stuff at once so that it makes things easier for me, and then it also makes things easier for you. You don't have to worry about the macros. So just keep the props bin open during the service. Next, we have the media bin. Typically, the media bin is closed by default. You can open it with this media button here at the top of the screen. And this just allows convenient storage and access to media. You can also access the video feed here. So if we have the media bin open and click on video input on the left side of the screen, you can see that we have, let's say we have everything off. If we click on input one switcher, that'll bring the video feed up. We also have a blurred version. If you click on that, we'll get a blurred version. Right now, that's just automated to trigger at the beginning of songs. But if for some reason the video feed is blurry and it shouldn't be, you can click on this first one and that'll put it back to normal.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Otherwise, you really shouldn't need the media bin on a Sunday. So generally, we just keep that closed to give you more room and less clutter on the screen. So in terms of actually running this on a Sunday.
Wait, so we only got through not even running it yet?
Nope. That was just the layout.
Brandon.
So, yeah.
That's helpful stuff though.
Yes. On a Sunday, just while anytime, whether it's practice, during the service, whatever, you'll first select the service, make sure you have the correct service selected. And usually that's going to be Sunday service. If you see this little icon next to it, that just indicates that there are timed cues in that playlist. So for example, the opening will start automatically at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. That's all that means. Because if you put a different playlist in there, it won't have that icon until you add calendar cues to it.
So at 9 o'clock and 10:45.
Yep. It will start automatically.
It comes off of the announcements and goes straight into the opening.
Yep. All right. So while you have a playlist selected, you can use you should click in the playlist first, and then you can use the up and down arrows to navigate through the playlist. And then you can use the left and right arrows to navigate through the slides. You can click on slides manually if you need to, but I don't recommend that. First of all, because the slides are in a particular order, so there are some cues and stuff that need to be in that particular order. Second, if there are any disabled slides, clicking on them can still trigger them, even if they shouldn't be shown. Using the arrow keys will skip over disabled slides. So, for example, if we have communion on a Sunday, I might have disabled slides for the Lord's Prayer if we're not doing the Lord's Prayer that day. But if you click on the Lord's Prayer, it'll still come up. And we've had that happen before. So I recommend just use the arrow keys to navigate through the slides.
Another example of when that might be used is sometimes during second service, we don't have our anchored dismissal because we only, as the time of recording this, only have anchored, which is our children's program, during first service. So we'll disable that slide, and then during second service, if you click on it, it will show. So use the arrow keys.
Yep. All right. Before practice starts on a Sunday morning, you're going to want to clear probably just everything before the song starts. The important part is the announcements layer, because if we don't clear the announcements layer and we start going through a song, what will happen is that the announcements are still running in the background, and then they'll just pop up right back up in the middle of the song, and it really throws the band off and everything. So just clear everything before you start prep, before the first song starts, and that'll make things easier on everyone. If the cameras are on, as we mentioned before, if the cameras are on, if the switcher is ready and Nick gives you the okay, you can go ahead and pull up that video feed and just have it there for reference, just so you get used to having that feed in the corner there, even during practice.
Even during practice.
Even during practice.
Because if that stream multi-view is black, it means something is wrong, and I don't want you to be used to it being black. So do your best to always have it on.
During practice, the slides will usually be automated. So we have a laptop on stage that will go through the slides, but don't just tune out. Follow along with the song to make sure the lyrics are all match what the singers are singing.
Not too early, not too late.
Yep. And yeah, check the timing to make sure that the words are on the screen when they should be, before they actually start singing the words. Another thing is that the vocals, the people singing, rely heavily on the stage display. So, for example, if we go partway through the song and we say, hey, wait, let's go back and do that chorus, then it'll be up to you to go back to the chorus slide so that the singers know where to start. Oftentimes, you'll actually need to go a slide before where they're starting, because the laptop will then send a next slide cue to start the chorus or wherever they're starting, just so you can be on track of where they are practicing. So run through the songs with the band during practice. Once they're done, I would highly recommend just testing a video with some sound. It can be the announcements video. I'd say even try a couple different videos, just to make sure that you're getting sound in-house, that the video's playing okay.
Yeah, and double check with the sound person, like, hey, I'm going to try some videos now. And so then the sound person will be able to check the sound. You're checking the video, he or she is checking the sound.
Yep. Once you've got all that clear, we'll just let this finish up here. Then you're going to go ahead and start the Spotify playlist. So if we go to Spotify here, see, this is what I normally do. We'll go to the Salem playlist here and start playing that. Didn't think it would come through that, but I guess we don't have the sound system on.
Yep.
We'll generally want shuffle and repeat on that. And then that can just continue playing in the background and just let the sound person control the volume on that. And they can bring it all the way down during the service and pull it back up when they need to. So it'll just be up to you to start it. And then once that's playing, you can start the prelude announcements. That's going to be the first item in the playlist here. So just click on the first slide and that will just start running through automatically. There will be a timer at the bottom. All right. Once the announcements are going, I would recommend importing sermon slides if there aren't some already. So let me just delete these for an example. So to import sermon slides, first we'll open the media bin, go to sermon slides, and delete any slides that are in that sermon slide bin. You can hit Windows A to select all the slides in there, and delete them. And then we'll plug in a USB drive into the back of the computer. So I believe we have one in here right now.
Yep, I don't know if it has it.
It'll show up as Salem 64. I don't think we have any slides in there at the moment.
But you just select them and then click on the bottom right, import.
Yep, so you would select the slides, click import. They'll show up. Cancel. They will show up in this bin, and then you can select all of the slides using Windows A or Command A, and then just drag them right into this sermon slides window here, where the slides should be. I'll close the media bin here. And then at 8:50, 10 minutes before the first service starts, you will start the live stream. So you'll click this live here and then just click start stream. Is it okay if we start streaming now? Is it going to throw anything off? actually do a live
It
test?
wouldn't throw anything off.
Okay.
It's just not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. So if we start this stream, you'll see we have a little bar here that this green bar says that, yes, we are streaming and the stream is healthy. If we start running into issues, it might turn yellow or red. If it turns yellow or red, let Nick know. But generally it should be green.
Or whoever the live stream producer
Or
is.
whoever the live stream producer is, if it's not Nick. Yes. All right. So during the service, a lot of these slides are automated. As I mentioned before, right at 9 o'clock, the first slide will come up automatically. So you won't have to do that. If a slide does come up automatically, don't then click it again. Just let it come up, because it could cause the stage lights to turn off, actually, if you click on a slide that's already up, because just with how our light board works, if it gets a duplicate signal, it just turns it off. So just let automatic slides come up. Songs will also be automated, I believe I mentioned before, and also the end of any video. So for example, if we have the announcement video go here, I'm going to skip to the end. So the logo will come up, and then I'm not doing anything, and just the next slide will come up automatically. So those instances, the start of the service, songs, and ends of videos, those are the automated slides. You will be responsible for everything else, so the timing is totally in your control. So you'll try to anticipate what is coming up next. So for example, if we have a kids message going, and the kids message concludes, don't just wait and twiddle your thumbs until someone tells you, hey, let's move on to the next thing. It'll be up to you to judge when the kids message is over, and then we'll start the sermon bumper, and that will then lead into the title slide. Again, I mentioned before the nameplates. They're nice but not critical, but those are something else that you can... Now I'm getting multiple nameplates. There we go. That you can focus on while the service is going.
Usually just the start of the service.
Yeah, it's usually just, toward the beginning of the service. Otherwise, you should be consistently monitoring the stream video, the stream health up here, and the stream audio, making sure that those sound bars are going when they should be. So you shouldn't be sitting up here on your phone. You shouldn't really be talking to other people. You really need to be paying attention to the screen to make sure that everything is looking as it should during a service. Ultimately, everything that appears on the projection and on the live stream is up to you. So pay attention. Scary, yeah.
But also easy.
So generally speaking, if you have this multi-view up, none of these 4 screens should ever be showing black. If it's black, that's bad. During a sermon, so we'll run through the songs, those will be automated. Once you get to the sermon, generally it'll just be up to you to follow along with the speaker with their slides. Sometimes they may tell you to go to the next slide, but usually you can judge by what they're saying which slide they went up. If needed, we do have a manual clicker that the speaker can use, but in my experience, a lot of speakers just like to rely on you to advance the slides. So that means you need to pay attention during the sermon, and that's for both services.
Yes.
Z and X. I'm not sure why. Yeah.
Okay, this is great. This is great.
So,
okay.
So while we have slides going, if you...
So like during a sermon.
Yeah, during a sermon. Sometimes we have a method for the video switcher to put up the slide on the live stream. Oftentimes that doesn't work. There might be some miscommunication between the switcher and ProPresenter. So I put in just a quick shortcut on the keyboard. You can press Z to show the slide on the live stream, and then press X to bring the video back up.
So yeah, like Brendan was saying, sometimes things break and I can't show the the live stream audience the sermon slide. And this is an interesting thing because during this is a live stream, rant right here, so just bear with me. But you are part of what's happening on the live stream, as Brandon said earlier. So I might have to look at you and be like, hey, sermon slides are on you. And it's that weird thing where during the service, inside of the sanctuary, you just have the sermon slide up and the entire time. You don't have to think about it. But for the live stream, if they're watching this, and then they want to read along, you as the person in charge of the slides for the live stream have to show the live stream at the right time what's happening on, what's happening in here and what's happening on the sermon slides on the projector. So it might be up to you to do that. And so what I would recommend, because there might be a chance that we get another camera and then I don't have like the ProPresenter, or not the ProPresenter, the switcher person can't be the one in charge of showing the sermon slides to the live stream anymore. It's going to be up to you. So if you are up for it on a Sunday, let me know if you want to try to press X and Z or Z and X to show and then not show the live stream, because I would love if you did it, because it's a little bit more reliable on your side of things than my side of things. Okay, rant over.
After a service, once we go through the last song, and we get to the end, and then the speaker is gonna say, go in peace. Once they say go in peace, you'll go down to Stream Closer, start that video, and then immediately go down to the postlude announcements and start those.
All right, so what are the keyboards? What are you pressing on the keys to do that?
So again, I'm just using the arrow keys, so I'll go back here. Let me just put up a slide here. So I'm gonna go down, I'm just press down arrow to go to the Stream Closer, right arrow to start it, down to postlude, right to start. So down, right, down, right.
And can I do it that fast?
I believe you can.
Just done right, done right.
Let me see how fast it'll actually let me do it. Because I think sometimes if you do it like less than a second, then it gets a little confused. Well, that works pretty well. So,
yep. Because as soon as Christu or whoever is leading worship says, yeah, like go in peace or have a nice Sunday or whatever the final thing is, we want to get both that video, the Stream Closer up, and the projector up as quick as possible.
After the second service, it will be somewhat similar. We don't need to do a Stream Closer. So after the second service, last song, you're just going to go all the way down to the last postlude announcements presentation. There we go. The last postlude announcements presentation, hit right arrow to go ahead and start that. Before you leave, after the second service, you will need to close ProPresenter and turn off the projector and stage screen, but leave the computer on because I still need to access it during the week from the office. So leave the computer on, but close ProPresenter, turn off the projector and the stage screen. Let's talk about some things that might go wrong, because things do go wrong. No, never. So one thing that might happen is you're going through a song and then, hey, the stage screen has the wrong layout. It doesn't show the words nice and big for the people on stage to read.
Well, and here's something else that Brandon did wrong. He didn't even know this, but look, what's that little thing right there? Mm-hmm. That's the announcement slide. Or maybe you were gonna,
I mean, it was somewhat intentional, but
it was somewhat intentional. All right.
Well, I wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
So, okay. So if the stage screen is not showing what it should, easiest fix is to go to the stage tab over here and then click the icon next to stage screen. See, this is stage screen. And then these are the different layouts for the stage screen. So right now we're in a songs. We want to click music, and that'll change it to the lyrics, nice big lyrics that the people on stage can read.
I get it.
Alternately, if we're in a sermon and it's just either not showing anything because there's just an image up, then during a sermon we want current slide with clock, and that just shows exactly what the slide looks like along with a timer and a clock and a little preview of the next slide. We do have some other layouts that we occasionally use, like if someone needs to read something from the stage, I have this, or we just need to duplicate what the projector shows. But most of the time it'll be either this music or current slide with clock. Another thing is that the announcements might suddenly appear.
He did it on purpose and I ruined it. I didn't read ahead.
It wouldn't have been timed.
Yeah.
So, but again, the announcement layer continues running in the background. And these little green dots, by the way, these green targets in the playlist, that indicates that it is an announcement layer. So the announcement layer will continue running in the background until...
So can you force it? Can you go down to the bottom and kind of force it?
I think I can.
Yeah. So do that and then go over.
Oh, here. Yeah, so let's say we're going through a song and do.
And that would check.
And then suddenly, the announcements pop up. And that's because those announcements were running in the background. So generally that can be solved by just hitting this clear announcements layer. This generally won't happen during a service because the opening slide has a clear announcements layer command built into the service start macro. So that should happen automatically.
It'll usually happen during practice.
Yeah, it can happen during practice.
All right, so I'm editing the ProPresenter training video and we missed something and I want you to see what it was, okay? So we're talking about clearing the announcement slides that literally just happened. And I want you to see something, okay?
And that's because those announcements were running in the background. So generally that can be solved by just hitting this clear.
So he cleared the announcement slide, but this is the audio for the live stream and it's still going because it's accessing that prelude music. So not only do you have to clear the announcement slide, you have to clear the messages slide and the audio slide. Whoa. Wow. Holy cow. So be aware that if the announcements do come back up, it's more than just the announcement slide. It's the announcements, message, and the audio. So it's like the music, the paper airplane, and the bullhorn icon.
It can also happen if the first service is running really late and the announcements automatically come up for the next service. I guess I could actually do these. That happens at, I think, 10:35. So if the first service is still going at 10:35, the second service announcements might pop up. I don't know what to tell you if that happens. I'd say if that happens, just clear all but the video using the keep video group, clear group. And then just keep going, and then you'll just have to manually trigger them once the service actually ends.
Yeah. And get that sermon slide back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If the wrong things are showing on the projector or the live stream, that is often due to the looks. The looks, anything in ProPresenter where you see this little glasses with a mustache, that's called a look. And the looks tell ProPresenter where to send what. So that's how we can have some things show on the stream while other things are showing on the projector and that kind of thing. So, for example, if we go up here to the looks, and that's going to be right next to the media bin button, these are all the different looks that we have. Generally, we have duplicate if we're showing a video. That just duplicates the projector and the stream. We have...
And can you go back to normal?
Yep, I'll go back to normal.
Go back to normal.
Oh, that's not done.
Yep. And then go to the just click the announcement video. Will we see will we see it change?
Yes, because there is this video macro changes the look appropriately.
And so it's
right now we're on duplicate.
Nice.
Now, if we go back to normal, now the video is only showing on the projector and a little bit on the stage.
Yeah.
During a song, we have a couple different looks. There's one look called song title for the song title. And then as we go through the song, it'll change to one called songs. And that just allows both the lyrics to show properly on the live stream and to show differently here in-house.
That's so cool. I love that.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also a couple prelude, postlude looks. Obviously, prelude during prelude, postlude during postlude. But the general gist here is that if things just don't look how they should, check which look is showing. If it's showing Advent during the prelude, then you know something's maybe wrong. But normally it'll just be on normal. All right. Another thing that might happen is you're going through the songs and suddenly the song slides stop advancing automatically.
Lame.
Yeah. If this happens during practice, best solution is probably just to restart ProPresenter. That will often solve a lot of your issues. If that doesn't try restarting the whole computer. See if that solves it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there might be an issue with a laptop on stage, something. If you can't solve it, or if it happens during the service, then you're just going to have to buckle down and go through the slides manually. It doesn't hurt, I promise. You'll just have to pay a little extra attention.
If you are the one then advancing the slides during the worship service manually, my rule of thumb is either the second to the last word or the last word is when you advance the slide. It's never fun when you're in worship and you say, "My God, He holds the victory, yeah. There's joy in the house of the Lord," and then you change it, right? You're always wanting to do it like second to last. Like if it's a fast song, maybe second to last or the last song. Yeah. So like, He opened the prison doors, He parted the raging sea. My God, He holds the victory. Right? Yeah. So just do it like that.
Yeah, because there is a 0.4 second delay. That's what this timer is down here. Yeah. There's a 0.4 second delay between when you press the button and when the words fully show on the screen. And you want to have the words on the screen in time for people to register them before they actually need to start singing it. Mm-hmm. So a good second and a half, 2 seconds ahead of time, like Nick said, good rule of thumb is kind of on that last word of the slide, then you go to the next one. So if there are issues with the sound, one thing that can happen is that you play a video and you don't hear any sound in-house. This can often happen if the sound system was restarted at some point during practice while ProPresenter was open. Like I said earlier, ProPresenter always needs to be the last thing open. So quick solution there is just to restart ProPresenter. That will fix it about 90% of the time. Another thing that can go wrong, which we've discovered a couple times, is that the routing settings in ProPresenter.
Wait, the what? The what?
Can go faulty.
The what
can go faulty. Yeah, the routing. The routing is how ProPresenter tells the sound signals where to go. So if we go up here to ProPresenter settings, audio. There's the section is called main. That's the main output of ProPresenter. This should be set to XUSB. That's what the soundboard is plugged into. And then the routing.
Oh gosh, I'm confused.
Yeah, there are squares all over the place. For this routing, Pro Channel 1 should have a blue square at 3. Pro Channel 2 should have a blue square at 4. That will tell any video audio to go to those respective channels on the board. Another issue that can happen is that you might still have sound in-house, but there's no sound on the live stream. And you should be the one to catch that first, generally speaking.
Wait, how can they catch that?
If you don't see this meter, this sound meter on the right side of the preview window going, that means there's no sound going to the live stream. Don't let the people on the live stream be the first ones to catch it. It should be you who catches it first, or else we'll start getting angry messages saying, hey, I can't hear the sound. So if that happens, one thing you can check is if you right click on a video, let's say we have an announcement video here. If you right click on the slide, go to inspector, go to the audio tab, which is this little waveform looking thing here. And then we're going to check the routing specifically for this video. It should look like this. We'll have channel 1, we'll have a square at Pro channel 1 and 3. Channel 2, we'll have a square at Pro channel 2 and 4. So it'll kind of be a N shape? I don't know. Diagonal, wavy shape.
Checkerboard.
What'll often happen if it's like this, if it just looks like that, that means no audio is going to the live stream.
And you should
these two on there
just
too.
quickly show them what it would look like.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So if we get those two off, and we select that, and we go, hey.
Yep. And now the audio is only playing in-house, and it's not playing on the live stream.
And so this is where it gets really difficult, is because you're in-house, and you hear it in-house. So your brain says, check, yep, everything's okay. But it's up to you to really be checking to make sure that the live stream is hearing it too.
Another issue that can happen is that you don't have the in-house sound on the live stream. So that's like either someone speaking or the worship team. Maybe they're not coming to the live stream. So that's a slightly different issue, but we're going to do something similar. So we'll go to ProPresenter up here, go to settings, and then we'll go to inputs, because the issue is that we're not getting sound from the soundboard to ProPresenter correctly. And then
Just the audio.
audio inputs up here. And then we have this routing button here.
Well, so there's actually...
There is audio source. The soundboard is off right now, so it shows is disconnected, but it should say X USB.
Yep.
And then the routing should look like this. Oftentimes, if something goes wrong and ProPresenter will go back to its default, it'll look like that. It should not look like this. Let's clear those off, and you can just click each square to click it on or off. But ProPresenter channel 3 should be on XUSB 5. ProPresenter channel 4 should be on XUSB channel 6. Yep. And then you click done.
That doesn't make any sense to me, Brandon.
That's okay.
Yep. And so I just want to point that out, that it doesn't make any sense if you don't know the sound part as well.
Yes.
If you know the soundboard part, then that would make sense. But you, as the ProPresenter person, don't have to know that, understand that. You just have to know what it should be.
Yes. And so I'll try to have a document up here, some kind of quick reference, so you can just see, oh, it's supposed to look like this. It doesn't. Here's what it should look like.
I don't know at what point in the video this is going to be. I'm actually just jumping in at the end anyways. I just want to remind you that you are one of the most important parts of the worship service. And I know it doesn't feel like it. I know that with all the automation and, you know, the laptop on the stage is sending MIDI cues up here to advance the slides. It's like, well, what am I doing up here? But I cannot express to you enough like how important it is that you are paying attention, that you are aware of what's happening in the service. You're looking at the audio bars. You're looking to make sure that the worship slides are advancing. You are looking to make sure that the sermon slides are where they're supposed to be at the correct time. It's never fun being in the service where the lyrics are, you know, completely off or just a little bit behind or whatever it might be. So I do want to just encourage you to to practice not being distracted in a very easily distracted job, or volunteer position. It's really important what you do.
Yeah, we often equate it to driving. While you're driving, you're constantly checking your odometer, your side mirrors, your rear view mirror. And so it's the same thing here. You just think of it as like you're driving. You're constantly just checking the preview screen, the projector, the live stream health, the audio bars.
Yeah. All right, back to the video.
Otherwise, are there any other issues that you can think of, Nick, that might come up during service?
No other issues.
All right. Absolutely not. Power might go out. That can happen too.
Or the internet might go
Or the
down.
internet might go out.
And so if the internet goes out, or even if it's like the bandwidth for some reason is whatever, there's nothing we can really do. It's like the thing up there is going to turn yellow, and that's going to happen, and it's like, but well, that's that.
Yep.
And we just have to kind of power through it. Luckily, there are the way that this is set up is that we get a video afterwards. We can edit that and then send it out later. If there's ever anything, massively wrong, at least on the live streaming side, we might just say, stop live streaming. We're going to record locally and we'll finish it later,
Yep.
So,
yeah, a lot of issues can come up. We can't prepare you for all of them. Yeah. Obviously, I tried to hit the most common ones. Yeah. So hopefully you have enough to get started.
Yep. Yeah, I think with that, thank you for watching this. I know that many of you, this is a lot of recap, but hopefully there were a few things in here that you, caught and that was new and that was helpful.
All right. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.